get my pod tomorrow. Sorry, I should not have.
Your
I should have
pod?
waited. My pod, not
Your
my
pod.
pod. My pod, the pod in which I am birthed out of.
Yeah.
But it kind of feels like a birth or a rebirth because I will have my stuff again. Yay! I will be reunited.
Okay, hi. Welcome to Never Show the Monster. I'm Kelly Attaway.
I'm Chelsea Hollander.
And today we are continuing our series on possession by aliens with Invasion of the Body Snatchers. You know her. You love her. We've been teasing it since the faculty. Oh, and we're going to be talking about the 1978 version. Is that the right year? Yes, 1978 version. Though I did read the book and watch the 50s movie.
Oh, okay.
So I'll pepper in some info about those as well. Before we get started,
yes,
I watched a horror movie unrelated to the podcast in a stunning turn of events. And have you ever seen The Boy? I want to say
Boy.
2016.
I remember
maybe?
the cover of it.
I remember.
No. Did I see it? I'm going to look it up.
So, okay. I remember when the ads came out, and it looks like your standard haunted doll type situation, or maybe, I guess not haunted doll necessarily, but it's like gal is hired to be a nanny, gets to the house, parents are like, meet our son, and it's a doll. And
cool.
She's like, okay, I'll be nanny to the doll, I guess. And it's got shades of Turn of the Screw by Henry James. That's a haunted house book. The Turning was based on it, as well as Bly Manor. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's in that vein, but then it goes off the fucking rails, dude. Like, highly recommend this movie.
Okay.
Big
good.
recommend. I don't know why I put it on. Well, I'll tell you why I was putting it on. I was going through my 1,000 screenshots of movies that I should watch and saw that one and was like, great, that looks like low stakes. I'll just put that on. So fun. So much fun.
Oh,
so fun. And then all of the sudden, what the fuck? Like, big time recommend on this one. I don't want to tell you anything.
Okay, I'm excited. We'll talk about it next week.
It's so good.
I'll watch it. I
also have I remembered something about the Skinwalker Ranch TV show that I don't care for
please.
and that I need to tell you about.
Okay.
They keep using the cattle on the ranch as, they call them biosensors. Bait.
Oh.
And then in one episode, I think in season 2, they brought in alpacas from somebody else's farm to be additional biosensors. And I was like, if even one alpaca gets hurt, I will file a lawsuit. Like, you cannot. You cannot.
Oh.
They got scared.
Do they know that you love alpacas and that was a bad decision?
I think, yeah. I mean,
they've been listening to the pod. No, this is a season that already aired. They knew in the future how we would feel, and they were like, let's make sure. I know that Kelly will be watching season 3, episode 4 this time. We got to make the 6th episode the one with the alpacas. Those.
Oh, so mean. Don't hurt them. They're just babies. Baby alpaca are called cria.
Oh.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Okay. Are you ready for some facts and figures about Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
Can I ask a question before we get started?
Ooh, hit me with it.
Do we think it's a watch?
Yes. Big time yes for me.
Yeah. I was like, I think it's going to be an obvious one, but I just want to say it at the top of the episode before we talk about stuff in case people are like, should I watch it before listening to the episode? The answer is yes. You should probably watch it before listening to the episode.
Yep.
It's a good one. It's a buy. I would buy.
Yeah.
It's not, but you can watch it on Prime Video and Max for freezies. Currently Max, currently Prime Video. They may change their names in the future. That is what we're going to deal with.
How did I end up paying for this?
You paid for it?
I think I did.
It's so you can keep it forever.
I guess so.
Because in like 3 months, it's going to be off of both of the streaming services, and I'm going to want to watch it.
I don't get to keep it. It goes away even if I paid for it.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's a
Yeah,
nightmare.
the reason I know that is because I bought a season of, what was that show? Phil Hartman. It was Dungeons and Dragons, but they couldn't call it that for copyright reasons. And it was like improv. Like there were regular players who sat at a desk with their DM, and they would improv through the story with comedians, with a new comedian guest each week, and they would animate the gameplay.
I'm gonna have to. Are you looking it up right now?
No, I should. Anyway, I bought a season of that, and now it's gone, and now you can't find it anywhere.
That's a nightmare. I get it, and I purchase it, and I download it, and I try to like take it off of the
That's smart
thing, because I think I had that happen with one or two other movies, and then I was like, now I'm just going to download every time in case. Because I think that if it comes back ever, you will have access to it again.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Because I feel like that happened with one of the...
Phil Hartman, it was Dan Harmon. Sorry, go on.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. I was like...
Harmon Quest!
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Facts and figures.
Facts and figures. So, 1978. Taglines. I usually just bring one. But
there are multiple?
I saw one of them.
Multiple.
And I couldn't choose. So the one that's on the like poster on IMDb, which looks cool as hell, by the way. That poster is rad. That tagline is, "Watch out! They get you while you're sleeping." And I was like, spoiler!
Yep.
Right there on the thing. And then there's also...
Was it released around Christmas?
I think so, yeah. Because one of them was like...
When you're awake.
On December 20th, can you... escape the pods? I don't remember what that tagline was.
That's great, yeah.
And then there was sleep. Sleep. And be born again into a world without fear and hate.
Oh, that sounds like a lovely movie.
Yeah. I'll do that. That sounds great.
Yeah.
And then there's also, this is the cheesiest one, and so it's my favorite. The seed is planted. Terror grows.
Yeah, I like that one. That's 10 out of 10 for that one. I would watch that movie.
Which one did you see?
The first one that you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was written by W.D. Richter, based on the novel by Jack Finney, which I should have written down the title. It's not, I think it's just Body Snatchers is the title of that book. Directed by Philip Kaufman. And the leads are Donald Sutherland as Matthew. And he works for Department of Health, I guess.
Health and Safety.
Health and Safety. And then Brooke Adams as Elizabeth, also Health and Safety. And Jeff Goldblum as Jack, who it's not clear to me what he and Nancy do. Just that mud bath place?
I think he's right.
The mud bath?
Oh, he does.
Oh, that's right. He's a poet.
They do have a mud bath place. Yeah.
He's a poet.
They do a lot of things. I'm sure that they're like the gig workers of yesteryear.
Mm-hmm. And then we've got Veronica Cartwright as Nancy, and she's my favorite character, I think. And Leonard Nimoy as Kibner, a horrible psychiatrist.
Yeah, really bad at his job, honestly.
Really bad at his job.
Did you notice his hand glove?
His glove? I sure did.
Did you look up why they did it?
I didn't look it up, but I did watch like a little behind the scenes thing, and it sounds like Leonard Nimoy was just like, hey, wouldn't this be cool?
Yeah, that's exactly what. He was just like, I want my character to be really distinctive. And I was like, Spock.
Yeah.
Your character is going to be really distinctive because it's you.
Yeah,
I like immediately with the voice, I was like, clavicle maltroud. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to worry about.
That's like the most distinctive person. You don't have to add in some cool half glove. What are you, Lady Gaga?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, you didn't need to do that, man. You were very distinct. Very distinct.
We know you, buddy. Don't worry about it.
But it was pretty cool. I was like,
yeah.
Should I wear a half glove? Should I start doing that? Like, I mean, it's not going to keep my hand warm. Well, I was like, I wonder if he has like arthritis and like it's a thing.
He was inspired.
Because hand burn.
Hand burn. One of his friends had a burned hand and was wearing a glove like that. And so Nimoy was like, I'll do it too.
He was like, that's cool. I can't wear that in real life because my hand's not burnt, but I can do it for this character.
So fun.
I've never wanted to be an actor more. I'm like, whoa, there are so many things I want to try out, but I always wanted to wear an eye patch, but I've never gotten like surgery on one of my eyes. But maybe if my character has an eye patch. Oh, what if I just wore one and I told everyone that I was researching a character?
There you go.
A new role. I'm researching a new role.
Yeah. They'll be like, for what? And then you just walk away mysteriously. Wouldn't you like to know?
Can't. I had to sign an NDA.
Oh, good move. Oh, yeah, start doing this. This is fun. God, I love a bit. Okay, so for listeners who are unfamiliar with this movie, it is the same as The Faculty and The Thing. So
this one is it's weird because I feel like The Thing is the middle between Body Snatchers and The Faculty.
Yeah. Yeah, both in terms of timeline
like what happens.
And in terms of, the themes, for sure.
Because, like, in The Faculty, we have aliens that, like, attach or, like, go into you, and you're still you, but you have this alien inside of you. And then The Thing, it creates another of you after consuming you. Right. And then this one does something similar to that, but, like, I feel like they flowed into each other almost.
Yeah. This one is closer to the Faculty. Oh, see? Okay. Interesting. Ooh. Okay, good. No, I guess it's... Okay, so to give the synopsis a little bit better, a bunch of weird seed pods fall on San Francisco. Is it the whole Earth? No, it's just San Francisco. We're shipping things out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think so.
I thought it was New York. Okay, I don't know my cities.
No. Sorry. I know for sure that it was San Francisco. I just remembered the, like, streets. Those are San Francisco houses.
Oh, okay.
Weird seed pods fall to Earth, and then people start noticing that the people in their lives aren't them. They look like them. They remember everything that they should remember. They know all of the right information, but something's off. And our humble public servants, Donald Sutherland and Elizabeth, I don't know her, and I don't know his character name, so I'm just going to flip-flop around if I'm using person name or character name. They start looking into it. They are civil servants, and they get to use their, like, testing facilities to try to figure stuff out.
But luckily their testing facilities don't even matter because they can't even... They try to use them, and then it just doesn't. It's not a thing. I guess
that's true. Did you notice that Elizabeth's husband was in The Brood?
Was he the husband in The Brood?
Yes.
We said he looked like...
Topher Grace.
That's it. I was going to say Eric Foreman.
That's right.
I'm glad it's consistent. Okay.
And this guy.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm glad that I saw him and I didn't remember The Brood, but I was like, that guy looks like...
That's Eric Foreman. Yep.
Wow, he does have a 70s face. Okay, there we go.
Truly. Yeah. He, did you ever watch Possession?
No, I haven't watched it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who's that guy? Sam
Somebody
Neill.
Who's old. Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's got a 70s face.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I think of him as Jurassic Park and later, but then when I watched that movie, I was like, oh.
70s. This belongs here.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you've been anachronistic to me the whole time, and I just couldn't put my finger on it until I watched this. Got it. And then Elizabeth looks like the gal from
Suspiria?
Original Suspiria.
Yeah, that's who
And Parker Posey had a baby.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Had you seen this one before?
No, I had not. And I was worried about it not being good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but so pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, it was really good. I don't know that I was worried at all.
I think at the first, 30 minutes, I was worried because I was like, this is really slow and nothing's really happening.
Oh, that's funny because one of my early notes is like, oh, wow, shit's happening so early for a 2-hour movie. Whoa.
Maybe I she comes home, he gets mad at the rat.
The rat?
Yeah, the rat in the, because he's a health inspector. So he's like, this is a caper. And he
There's
was
a
like,
rat turd
it's
in the
rat
soup.
poop.
Yeah.
Eat the caper.
Sorry. when you said she came home, he got mad, I thought that you meant her husband got mad at a rat. And I was like, I don't remember
That didn't happen. No.
anything about that.
But the husband was terrible.
Also, I guess he's not husband. He's just boyfriend.
Oh.
Yeah, he is terrible. Okay. And when he gets got first, I was like,
this
good.
Is fine. Yeah. I was like, he seems a little more respectful. So I don't know if I'm upset about this.
Although
I was like, is he going to be nice to her now? He's really cagey and leaving a lot, but
I do like the leaving.
Awful.
I don't know. He was kind of mean to her in the closet. Were they in a closet? He was like getting dressed and to go out to a meeting that evening. And she was like, what? And he essentially was like, women don't deserve to know information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was like, ugh, he's the same after all, even after he got.
Just less excited about football.
Yeah.
Was it football? Sports ball.
It was sports. It's
sports.
Probably football. They were throwing team names around.
How they do stuff.
So I bet some people know, but I don't personally.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Warriors?
Sure.
Well, I don't know why I tried. I don't know why I took a swing at that. Oh, and then sports metaphor. Oh, maybe she knows them after all. So this movie was like more affecting to me than The Thing was. Specifically around the stuff that you brought up in The Thing, like if it has your memories, is it you?
Yeah, because they call that out.
This one was more upsetting to me than in The Thing.
They were like, effectively, we're still you. You're still
not
in existence. That's where the question comes in. Like, are you or is your memories what you are? I feel like I fucked up some grammar in that, but you get me. You get me.
I do get you. So I was trying to noodle my way through this. And I think that the reason that this was like more upsetting to me in Invasion of the Body Snatchers versus The Thing is that in The Thing, you couldn't trust anybody, right? It was like every man for himself. Yeah. And then in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, we had this like little team of people that were following. Yeah. And so we have this like trust and this like camaraderie. And instead of being like me against the bad guys, it's us against the bad guys.
Yeah.
And so I think that you've rubbed off on me and now I really value community.
Oh, yeah.
So that was like, I think that was part of it.
Is that where you're like, the end is really effective because of that? Because that was the part that was like a huge gut punch to me. I was like, oh God, no.
I know. So in this movie, we have our core group and there are, I don't know, there's laughing, there's crying, there's love, etc. Yeah. You know, the human stuff. And slowly they get picked off one by one. And at the end, the last true human of the group discovers that the second to last human is no longer human. And it's very distressing. Worst. It's very distressing. Did you see how they filmed that?
No.
Or like what the actors were told leading up to that scene?
No.
Okay, so
because it feels like it was something else up until literally that moment. And I was like, no.
I know.
They played that so well.
Truly they did.
And I'm assuming it's because they didn't know. Is that what I'm about to hear? Because I'm excited to hear that.
That's part of it. Yeah, so, okay, I'm about to spoil the movie. So if you've decided that you want to watch it, go watch it.
Get the fuck out. Yeah.
Yeah. So the last two humans are Donald Sutherland and Nancy. And there's a part where Donald Sutherland is sort of alone and we hear the pod people saying like, well, he can't stay awake forever. Cut to sometime in the future. It is the daytime and Donald Sutherland is walking into work essentially. And he sits down at his computer and then I don't know, was there like a siren? Why did they all get up to go somewhere?
I don't know. He gets up and he like walks to the lab where Elizabeth, wait, what is that her name?
Yeah, Elizabeth
was, and he like kind of looks at her, and then like, and the whole thing about these body snatchers is that they don't have emotion.
Right.
And that's like the baseline of knowing that you're not, or knowing that someone's not one of them is if they emote.
Yeah. And so you can walk amongst them so long as you like keep a sufficiently straight face. Mm-hmm. And so while he's walking around amongst them, we as watchers are like, what is he? But which one is he? Did he get got or is he human? And he is outside and Nancy approaches and she's so excited to see him and like smiles so big, comes up, calls out his name, and he does the like pod people scream and point. And she reacts like with such devastation. Yeah. And she starts screaming, but like not the pod people scream, a human people scream. And is like grabbing her face, pulling her hair, like so devastating. And yeah, they were told different things as they went into that scene. And so she didn't know that he was going to be pod person. And so her screaming was like her reaction. Yeah.
Oh,
so scary. It's so like, oh man, I was rooting for you all.
Yeah.
And also, she was like a weirdo reading alien books. She was like great. Excited. Yeah.
And she was like, the air is poison, our food is poison. I was like, I'm sorry. Are we the same person?
I
know. Am I quoting you when I talk? Yeah, Nancy was also my favorite.
Yeah.
She is the best.
So, oh God. So just from that, and from that perspective as well, her being like, she was interested in aliens, and now that she's met them, it's not fun. It isn't any good. Yeah. I don't like that. I don't like that for her.
There is a part where she meets a pod person in the bathhouse, and he's like, have you read this book? Yeah. And she's like, yeah, I have. You should read this other book. This is a must read as well. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I know. I was so excited.
Knowledgeable.
And then when they're talking about spaceships later and how when the girls start putting together that it's the seed pods that started it all, and Jack is like making fun of them. He's very dismissive, and they're like, "Put the flower down! Stop sniffing it!" He's like, "What? How could it be? How could it be a flower? Aliens come in metal ships." And they were like, "Why does it have to be metal ships? Why can't it be flower ships?" And I was like, "Hell yeah! Now we're talking about cool ideas. Yeah. Let's expand our horizons. Let's open our minds. Let's get that third eye open." Hell yeah, Nancy. I did look up the book that guy was reading in the bathhouse. And it came out in the 50s and like shook the world. And everybody was obsessed with it. And then scientists were like, none of this fucking holds up. And so it sort of disappeared from the collective unconsciousness.
That's good, because I was going to say I didn't recognize it whenever they said it. I was like, I don't know that book.
No, I had to pause and like rewind. I was like, got to get those names so I can Google them. Hey, why did they make it a bathhouse? They don't run a bathhouse in the book. And so I was trying to figure out like, is this something? Is this something? Yeah, I don't know.
I was like, did you just want to see that like old guy's butt? Like, I'm trying to figure out a good reason because that was the only part. I guess I didn't really. Maybe mud houses were really cool at that time.
Oh,
and it was just like something of that time.
Yeah, that seems right. The best I could do was like they were mud baths, seeds growing, dirt.
Oh,
but
interesting.
Sort of falls apart at that point. I can't get to the next step.
People rejuvenate in mud. I think the other part is like it is a good way to like the only other option would be a hospital, I guess, is having like sheets or curtains, and that always gives like a really eerie atmosphere because you can have those shadows going on.
I guess maybe that's what it was. They wanted the eerie shadows because in the book and in the 50s movie, that just happens at their house. In their basement, on their pool table.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's because you can be like, oh, who brought this in? But they were like, oh, maybe somebody came in, laid down. and they would have been here. So like
yeah.
they just thought it was somebody who came in and laid down and they didn't pay attention.
It is, that is a little more plausible. I think that the way they did it in the book was that the guy was like, I was cleaning out a closet and I found this thing.
A human body?
I just found a human body in my closet.
Okay.
That's where it was. That's where I found it.
Okay.
Oh, likely story, buddy. You're going to jail. You can't just have a dead body in here.
Yeah, and the amount of times in this movie he was like, I'll call the cops. And I was like, no,
don't.
No. I was
Never
like, first
call
of
the
all,
cops.
no. Second of all, no.
Right.
First of all, no in the context of not this movie. Second of all, no in the context of this movie. There are multiple no's for this.
There are layers of no's. It's no's all the way down. Don't do it.
Damn it, Matthew.
Gosh, that scene was... I was wondering how they were going to do it on screen. So I read the book before I watched the movie. Mm-hmm. And in the book, they have this body on the pool table, and Jack is telling Donald Sutherland about... in the book, Donald Sutherland is there. Jack is telling him... He's using this metaphor of coins. He's like, when you mint coins, you... like the first pass just gives like a vague shape of it, and then you stamp it again to get the detail. And I was like, I guess maybe people like know about that in the 50s, but
yeah, we would not know about that.
How are we gonna put that on screen?
Yeah.
I don't know. They did talk about it in the original movie, and it was fine. But yeah, it went more smoothly in this one, I think, in the 78 version. Like you can show it. You don't have to tell it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The blood in that scene was very fake.
Yeah. Very bright.
So bright. Mm-hmm. Did we not have fake blood down yet? When did we get good at fake blood?
We should have been good at it at that time. There was blood in the Brood. Was that also? But in Suspiria, there was blood, and that blood was very bright. Maybe it was like a choice. Maybe people were trying to make the blood not look like blood so people didn't pass out.
You know, that is a rule in some tiers of television and maybe movies.
Oh.
That like there's some like bodily fluids that you're allowed to depict, but they can't be the color that they are in real life.
Oh, is that like period blood?
Or normal blood, even, in some things.
I was just thinking of like pad.
Poop can't be brown in some tiers of television. I only know this because of Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell. The star of that, Henry Zabrowski, was talking about how a scene he was in, his head is in a toilet, the devil is shitting on him. And he was like, we couldn't do, it can't be brown and yellow. We had to pick other colors.
Well, what color is it then?
I feel like it was weird, but it's the devil, so it can be weird, right? But if you're doing something serious, how do you get around it?
No.
Though I guess not many serious things need to depict poop, like a lot of the time.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I guess if you're doing like the Oregon Trail, everybody's got dysentery.
That's true.
Other times in history where people had dysentery.
Yeah.
Wars. Lots of wars, I think.
Good point.
Yeah.
And pooping on screen is important.
It is. That's critical to the story. Mm-hmm.
Okay, is it can they have poop on the ground? Anything with animals. Oh. Is it just human poop? Or is there because sometimes you have a movie where you're tracking animals.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's deer poop. Man, I don't think that they showed a lot of animal poop on movies because I would be better at tracking animals.
Well, maybe you should have been watching that. What was that channel in the South that was always showing people hunting?
It was one of the single digit channels, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember, but I know the channel you're talking about.
And then there was also the fishing one. Yeah, I guess we just didn't watch enough of that. I don't know. I feel like it was human that had the rules around it. But now that I'm thinking about it, here's my follow-up question to that. Does it only have to be a different color if we're seeing the action of emitting that fluid? Or can it be normal color if we stumble upon it later?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a good question. I think that's the best question.
right in. I also wonder if this was, so the first movie based on this book was in the 50s, black and white. And I saw in the like behind the scenes for this version, the 70s version, that they were talking about filming it in color and like how can we get across this like film noir vibe that we're trying to do in color.
Oh, I think they did it.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And I didn't really like I don't know enough about film to like have clocked that on my own with those words. But I did notice that vibe. Like there's a lot of like, I don't know, it's like you're there in it. like the camera isn't put back like we're looking like it's the fourth wall. It's not like we're looking at a stage, right? It feels like we're in there, like it's filming through a window or like in the front seat of the car. Like I think that I got that vibe. And then when I watched the behind the scenes and they said those words, I was like, oh, and that's why the shadows were crazy. Like put it all together. I'm going to learn stuff. If we do this podcast long enough, I'm going to get good at movies. You're going to get smart.
I think that a good point on that is the way that it gave you a sense. And I think that this is kind of in film noir. I could be wrong. But I think of like detectives and things like that. But a lot of watching other people as the, like each character is watching someone else and like being curious as to everything going on, which I think happens a lot in those films and they portrayed it very well.
Elizabeth even does her whole like gumshoe day where she follows her boyfriend around and sees him like conspiring with other pod people.
And then Matthew goes around after trying to figure stuff out and calling people and like trying to follow a lead. Like they're constantly following leads. So it felt very, and then his trench coat was helpful.
His trench coat, really drove it home.
He did forget the fedora, but that trench coat really helped.
You know what? Now that we're like listing all
is it fedoras or is it like brimmed hats? Did he have one?
No, it's fedoras, right? Or the one that's like a fedora, but it's called something else.
Yeah. I don't know one, so
I don't know. Is that right? Or do the cops that the private eyes don't work with? Are they the ones who wear the hat? I don't know. Now that we're like listing out all of these examples, I'm like, oh, okay, this wasn't like a subtle thing. I shouldn't be so proud that I
No. I think it
almost
was
got
though.
it.
Because I think that you can have those moments in films where it doesn't have the same vibe because of the shots. Like the way that the camera zooms into the people as they're walking to making you feel like they're suspicious. And like you get that with older movies and trying to follow whatever the detective is trying to figure out. It's you become the detective.
Yes. Yeah. So fun. And there were a couple scenes that were called out in the behind the scenes by the, I don't know, director of film. Not the director of the movie, the guy who held the camera, essentially. And there were a couple cool scenes that are exactly what you're talking about, like walking through the streets of San Francisco and just being like really frenetic and like constantly looking around. So the director and cameraman would walk through the streets and the cameraman would just hold the camera like under his arm.
Oh.
Maybe with his coat draped over it so that people aren't looking at the camera. And he's just like turning his body to film these like crazy shots that feel really overwhelming, very frenetic. And like,
yeah, it did have a lot of very overwhelming shots.
And because he's holding it so low, I think that contributes to it too, because you're like so much is happening above your line of sight. It made me think of panic attacks, really, is what it made me think of, where like,
oh God, yeah.
So many times when I've had a panic attack, in my memory afterward, I'm like little tiny. I'm like, I'm like 2 feet tall in this big scary world. And that scene like really captured it well. And then the other scene that he called out was when after Donald Sutherland discovers Elizabeth's body growing in her bedroom while she's asleep, and he scoops her up and runs away. And then the police come, and we've got these like two factions of people in this tight bedroom. Donald Sutherland is like, there was a body here. And the cops are like, cool it, you're crazy. And Topher Grace is like, Jeffrey was his name. He's just like being weird and serious and like drinking his scotch or whatever. The cameraman in that scene. So when they got in there to do the blocking, they were like, fuck, this is a small
It is very
room.
small.
And so he just like stood in the middle holding the camera and just like
boop, boop.
Yeah, he just was like bopping around. Basically he was like, do what feels right as actors and I'll just like zoom in and out and around you. And that's a very effective scene.
Yeah. Also, does she have like an atrium in her house?
Yes.
I loved that. Can I
Me
get
too.
one? That was beautiful.
I was like, how do you have just like a greenhouse in the middle of your bedroom?
Yeah. Beautiful.
I love it.
Yeah.
Is that like, they lived in an old Victorian.
Mm-hmm.
Did the Victorians do that?
I don't know, but we got to figure it out.
We gotta figure it
I gotta
out.
build one.
Yeah.
That was just so cool. Big fan of that.
I liked that she was just like big time into plants generally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At first I thought she was into plants because it was her job. But then the guy she works with was like, this isn't our job. She's like, but it is. It haunts the people. It's about the people.
It's about the people.
I promise it's about the people. And he was like, 48 hours. I was like, because you know people can't stay awake for 48 hours? Is that why you're saying that?
Oh my God. You're so smart.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God.
He was definitely a pod
He had already
person.
been gotten. Everybody.
There was no smiling. There's not even anger. It was just like, I shouldn't have to do this. And then she's like, whenever he was like, I'll do it because you've been late a couple times. I was like, oh, you're a pod person.
You're a pod person. Oh, fuck. So when do you think Leonard Nimoy got? Had he been got the whole time?
I don't know. Because he did show, it had to have been after he grabbed Jeff Goldblum. Not going to remember his name.
I don't think so, because he was doing that, Jack.
But he had to show emotion.
I think that they can fake it.
Oh.
Can they?
I don't know.
I don't know.
The guy from the shop was like, everything's fine now. They did smile. Like, the lady smiled whenever she saw the girl. And she was like, I just want to let you know everything is fine.
Right.
So, maybe they can. But his was too smooth of an emotion to not. Because everybody else's seemed really stale. So, if he was for a long time, then he understood. You're right. Because at the thing, he really poo-pooed on that lady.
Yeah. So they're
at
this
poo-pooed
like,
on it.
He has his like pop psych book coming out. So it's like a book signing. And some woman comes rushing up to him and she's like, my husband's not my husband. And she's frantic. And he's like holding her to his side and forces her to hold hands with her weird pod person husband. And he's like coming up with excuses for why he's heard so many of these stories. But at the same time, maybe that is just pop psychology of the time, you know, like.
Yeah. Good point.
Like, there's still taboo about going to therapy and seeing psychiatrists. So it wasn't better in 1978, you know?
Yeah.
I wonder if he was like based on somebody. Like, was there a big time pop psychologist at that time in the I mean, I'm certain that there was, and I just don't know anybody.
Who? There's one person I want to look up to see when they existed.
Freud. Is it Freud?
No, I wanted to look up Dr. Spock.
Oh,
it would be funny if that's
this.
who he was based off of. But that's more about babies. He was all about babies. After undergoing a self-described conversion to socialism, Spock became an activist in the New Left and anti-Vietnam War movements.
Oh, so that would have been much before this.
He ran for president as the People's Party nominee in 1972. He campaigned on maximum wage and legalized abortion. And withdrawing troops from all foreign countries.
That guy
His books
rules.
were criticized by conservatives for propagating permissiveness and expectation of instant gratification.
Okay.
And he also won an Olympic gold medal in rowing. Well, now I think I'm just going to go read about him. He did have a book
Look
come
forward
out.
to our next Shooting the Shit episode.
He did have a book, two books come out in 1970 and then one in 1974. Decent and Indecent in 1970, A Teenager's Guide to Love and Life. in Life and Love in 1970 and Raising Children in a Difficult Time in 1974. I always thought that this guy was not cool, but he sounds super cool. Because maybe I watched some weirdly conservative TV shows as a child that was...
Yeah.
Home Improvement, maybe that was it. Sorry, I can't remember. It's probably one of those.
I didn't know if I could do the noise, and I can't.
You can, and you did. You did it. You done it.
Not what I was trying to execute.
I'm proud of you.
Sounded very different in my brain.
I don't know. I could put it over it, and it would be perfect. I feel like I would put it. I'll put it in that theme song.
Oh yeah, I'll just edit that in. Do you want to talk about how the pods look?
Yeah. 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 So they didn't show the pod whenever the other two bodies existed. So that's weird. So there was no pod associated with them. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden there were pods everywhere. And I feel like that was, I don't know if it was a continuity error, but I was like, I didn't see a pod for either of these. And I get the girl, Elizabeth, that could have just been like, I didn't see it. I was in a hurry. Fine. I get that. But in the bathhouse, there's no pod. No pod in the bathhouse.
No.
I guess, is it once you're birthed? Can someone come in and leave you? Does someone leave you where your body is or near your body? So then whenever you disappear and the new body comes, it won't people will be like, what the fuck is this?
How did you get over there? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in your house. That makes sense.
Okay. I'm there.
They looked...
Not inconspicuous?
I think that if we had gotten Rob Bottin to do this, it could have looked cooler.
Oh, are we talking about the bodies after they pop out?
Yeah, that whole, being born scene out of the pods when Donald Sutherland has fallen asleep in the yard and all four of them are there. I thought that was a cool scene. I liked how it was shot, and I liked... they did some interesting stuff with the audio, but I really had to watch it through my peripheral vision so that I wouldn't be too upset by how the creatures looked. Maybe they're supposed... I didn't love it.
I thought it was fine. I thought it made sense. Well, up until that point, I was like, I am getting nothing that makes me squeamish or uncomfortable. And because even the bodies, I was like, they just look like bodies with spider webs on them.
Yeah.
I was like, I saw that in a couple other movies. I'm not that this might have happened before it, but it didn't really catch me off guard. But this one, I had it I got a phone call at the time whenever it was crowning from the flower. And I had just had it paused on that for 10 minutes and I was staring at it during my phone call. And I was like, and it was one of those phone calls where I was like, I have to get off the phone. I'm in the middle of watching a movie and I have to press play because I can't keep staring at this right now. Thank you.
And this is also a very intense scene. You're really taking me out of it.
Yeah, it made me upset. So is it what happens is you sniff the plant and once you have the pheromones of the plant and you then...
I'm not...
But do you have to have a pod next to you? It's very confusing on how this works.
The pod doesn't have to be right next to you. In the book, it seemed like it did need to be nearby.
Okay.
They were hiding the pods in your basement so that you'd go to sleep and you wouldn't know it was down there and you'd get got. But in this one, it didn't seem like you necessarily needed to be near it. Maybe you needed to be near it to be imprinted upon. But there were even when they weren't near their houses where their pods ostensibly would be, they were trying to keep awake. So can it get you anywhere once it's started?
So that's what I was confused about. Donald Sutherland, Matthew's character, that the pod imprinted on him, but he destroyed the body. So I was like, is he fine? And then at the end, I was like, he's not fine.
So I guess there could be a second pod if original.
And then what happened with Elizabeth was that there had to have been a pod or something near her because the body created next to her.
Yeah, I mean, there were definitely a bunch of pods nearby, right? Like that was their
good point.
pod ship in operation. I don't know. The logistics on that are unclear to me. However, I have a question. Would you be able to kill the pod people in your yard who look like your best friends? If you know that your best friends are in the house right now.
Yes.
I think so. I think I could too.
Yeah, there was a lot of hesitation. I was like, why don't you...
So much hesitation.
I mean, there is some psychoanalysis that could be done because he was willing to destroy himself, but nobody else. And I was like, rude. Get the other people too. And I was like, you're making it easy for them to get got.
Yeah, what are you trying to do here?
Yeah. Save yourself, nobody else.
They did the same thing in the 50s version.
Oh.
I don't remember it in the book, but I also listened to it rather than reading it, so I might have missed something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I think I could kill doubles of my besties.
Yeah.
Chelsea, if you were birthed out of a pod in my yard, I'll smash your face.
Thank you.
And it's because I love you.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I would not feel a thing. I guess the second question would be, if your friend's going to get got, but you know that their memory will live on in this pod person, would you, if you're like, well, this is their only chance to possibly survive?
Yeah.
Would you, because that's where I could see the hesitation, but he didn't know that. He didn't know that.
I don't know. I thought about this a lot.
And how do they really have their memories? Because that's the part where I know that Leonard Nimoy was like, because I've known you for so long, I trust you. I was like, you are believable, but everybody else feels like they've never had a memory in their life.
Yeah. Leonard Nimoy was definitely emoting more than the other pod people.
Yeah. Unfairly. An unfair amount.
I don't know. Okay. So
there was a guy who struggled with putting on his glasses, and I was like, if you were a pod person, you could do that really easily.
Maybe it's like, I mean, it's a whole new body that he's steering. So maybe it takes like a minute to acclimate.
I guess that's a good point. But that's where I saw it like different from the faculty is they didn't have like this overconfidence or this like strength or this like in the faculty, everyone was themselves plus something.
Plus like mania. Yeah. So, this like, they were dialed up to 11. This dials you down to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. So I was thinking about other media that I've watched that asks this question, like if it's an exact copy, is it them? And the one that came to mind was Doctor Who. and like not normal Doctor regeneration, because when the Doctor regenerates, he keeps all the memories, but the personality changes. So that's not what I'm talking about. But there is a part in Doctor Who where a character gets split and we have 2 versions, and somebody that you know and love through the series is like sequestered in another universe with the copy. And we all know it's the copy. She knows it's the copy knows that he's the copy. And when they split and we learn that she's going to be in this parallel universe with the copy, she's like, no, that's not him. And that's how I feel. And then in Doctor Who, this character, the copy, says something to her and it like changes her mind. Like whatever he said made her realize like, oh no, this is this person. And I'm still like, no, he's not.
Yeah.
That's the copy.
Yeah. I
don't know. It still feels, I mean, especially with the pod people where like something is off.
Yeah,
and they
for sure.
aren't like actually experiencing those things, those feelings, those emotions.
They also scream weird.
Those were pig squeals.
Yeah, I heard about that. Nah, did not like that.
Also, the audio engineer was like, I used pig squeals because humans can't make those noises. And I was like, they absolutely can. I just watched a video on YouTube.
On pig squeals.
There's this YouTuber that I've been obsessed with. Her channel is called The Charismatic Voice, and she is a weird lady. She's never heard a real song in her life. She's an opera singer, classically trained opera singer, and she, for example, did a video on like Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit, and she was like, I don't think I've ever heard Nirvana before. And I was like, this woman doesn't know anything, but she knows plenty, but like not about pop culture. But she had this guy on from some band I've never heard of, screaming, lots of screaming, and took him to this facility where the doctors specifically study voice, and they stuck a camera down his throat while he made pig squeal noises.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's weird and disgusting.
Ooh. Weird. That's super weird.
It's very crazy, but he had not just one pig squeal, he had multiple pig squeals, and he like used different adjectives to describe which one he was going to do next. Yeah, isn't that crazy? So maybe he's a pod person. Oh,
probably.
Maybe he's a pod person.
That's probably what it is, honestly.
Oh, shit.
But that is also something that's in line with The Thing, is because they also have a weird scream, not pig squeal. But
I wondered as if they're that
transforming from that, inspired from
it. And then our guy with our screamy guy with the lobster hands.
Yeah, he does the...
Yeah, I was like, is this a body snatcher thing?
I think it might be.
I think so. I can't remember if that scream was in the book that The Thing was based on. So did the...
Who influenced who? Everyone influenced everyone.
Right. Who influenced who?
It's actually all based on a true story. So...
Oh, man, that might be true. That might be true, though.
Might happen soon. It's fine. It's fine. I'm okay if it's plants. I mean, it was nice. It was like... So... in the faculty, how it transferred was terrible. In The Thing, how it transferred was terrible. In this one, not so bad. You just fall asleep.
Not so bad. Yeah. You fall asleep and then disintegrate? That's okay.
Yeah, they just say, like, fall asleep and wake up and everything's, like, more beautiful. And you're like, which is the same speech that Mary Beth gave in the faculty. It was like, you're going to wake up. But then she was like, everyone's going to be happy. Everyone's going to be nice to each other. It's great. And in this one, they were like, there's going to be no hate. There's going to be nothing bad, but there's also going to be nothing good. It's just going to be really neutral. We're going to be real neutral.
Boo.
But I don't know. So the biggest thing for me is if you're going to live in a neutral society, why would you go to work and still do all of the same stuff all the time? Like I was like, why are they still doing their jobs?
Right.
Wouldn't you remake society to be like how you guys are, like what you do? Like,
yeah. And then even when the pod people were doing their own thing, like on the docks when they're shipping out the pods to other parts of the country, I guess, to start, there's a part where somebody like climbs up on a pedestal and is shouting into a bullhorn, and that just was so funny to me. Like, imagine aliens showing up and being like, well, I'll put on my sweater first, and then I'll get the bullhorn and my clipboard.
And then you're like, come on, you're a more advanced society. There's a better way to do all of this, I'm sure.
It's just you guys here.
Yeah,
you don't have to... People
you don't have to do it. No one's
you don't have to do this.
So there are two specific scenes that I really wanted to talk about.
Hit me with them.
Okay, do you know the one part that is the best part of the entire movie?
Yes, I do.
It is the dog with the human face.
Yeah.
That was the best moment.
I screamed.
I was like, oh my God, what is that?
What the
Why is that happening? What's happening? What is this? Why would you do this? Who thought of this?
I just got confused.
Because it was the homeless guy with the dog. And they were laying next to each other, so they finger tendrilled over to both of them, and they were like, I don't know what to poop out. I will do...
Just like did it wrong.
Because they can't do it brown and yellow. They were like, I'm going to poop out this dog human.
So distressing. Oh, that got me so good.
And that's a good way to suss out all the humans. Just be like, dog human, run around. Just run around. And if anybody reacts to you, fucking human.
That's them.
And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. That's a very human thing to do. I was like, Nancy did not emote. She's good. She is good.
She's so good.
She was probably like already seen that dog a couple times before.
She probably had. She'd been out and about. Oh, God.
Oh, she had her shit together. I love Nancy.
Yeah, man. She lasted so long. Had she just been awake that whole time?
Oh, my God. Maybe. Oh, poor Nancy. She been up to? That's probably why her scream was so extreme. Because she was like, I haven't slept in a month.
Yeah.
You were my last hope, Matthew.
I know. And what do you do if you're Nancy at that point?
You're just like, okay, come on. I'm going to. Yeah. And then you can just be like, I'll take a nap. I'm fucking tired. I'll take a nap.
Yeah, like I'm just going to go to bed. I'm done.
You win.
I'm done. It's all you.
Just don't make it difficult. Don't stab me with something. I'm already tired.
Right.
I'm already tired. You hear this scream? I'm already tired.
Yeah.
I'm already tired.
I'm done.
The other part was I did really appreciate Matthew / Donald Sutherland's parkour. His sweet parkour when he was coming out of the
parkour
place where they grow all the pods.
I don't even remember.
He just jumped through windows, jumped from building to building. Yeah. And I was like, how old are you? How are your knees? How are you doing this? I'm so proud.
You know how old he was? I looked it up.
Oh, no. You're going to tell me like an astonishingly young number, and I'm going to feel really bad.
Yeah, it was early to mid 40s.
Okay, that's what I thought. Still, how do his knees do that? My knees wouldn't do that. I don't think I could do that. But he parkoured his way through a lot of it. Also, there were 2 parts in that scene, too, because he kept cutting the lights to light the fire. And I was like, how does he know that? And I was like, oh, he was a safety inspector. Health and safety inspector. So he was like, you shouldn't have these lights this close to this mesh.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he knew.
Look at that continuity.
When somebody came up to him to like fight him, and then he dropped his weapon and started running. And I was like, you have a weapon. You had a weapon in your hand. What are you doing? So there were some parts I couldn't.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, he couldn't even axe the pod people in his yard. So I don't know if he was up for like getting bloody in that scene.
Maybe they couldn't show the blood. Well, they showed blood spurting from pods.
Is that blood? Oh, yeah, it was.
No, it's poop, but they had to make it red. It's so much worse.
Oh, that's a good loophole.
We'll make the blood brown and the poop red, and everyone will be so confused.
We'll just flip them around.
Oh, gross.
So in that scene where the pod people are being birthed, okay, the audio designer, first of all, was also audio designer for fucking Star Wars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? He said that he reused some sounds that he like tested out for Star Wars that didn't make it into that.
Oh, nice.
For example, he used like a scuba inhaler as like a POC for Darth Vader's breathing.
Oh, wow.
And didn't work out there, but he used some of that for that scene where they were being birthed. There's this like rhythmic like squealing almost noise in the background. He said that's what that was. And also, while he was designing sound for this, his wife was pregnant.
Oh, yeah. There were a lot of heartbeats.
Literally his baby.
Oh.
Like, he literally recorded an ultrasound.
So that baby is a full adult now. Is it like...
Yep.
If they're like... If they have to do an icebreaker at work and they're like 2 truths and a lie, I was an invasion of the body snatchers. And they would be like, how old are they? There's no way.
I know. I was like, I would use that if people would believe me. I guess that's only 10 years difference. 78. I was born in 88. People could believe that I'm 44, right?
Yeah, use it. They couldn't. You don't look anywhere near 44.
Oh, thank you. So young. Oh, you said you had fun facts about cameos. Do you want to do it?
The taxi driver is the original director?
Yeah.
And he was nearly blind, and he was driving around at night, and everyone was afraid.
Do you have the other one?
From the first movie, or
Yeah.
the guy that gets hit by the car?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's the Donald Sutherland character
In
from
the first one.
movie.
Yeah.
Mhm. And I loved the behind the scenes on that one. So the end of the first movie is also pretty dire and nihilistic. And it in the behind the scenes, when they decided to cast him in that role, they were like, imagine if he had just been running and warning people for 20 years since the first movie. He's just been like running.
Well, good on him. Thank God. And then he's like,
cool.
it's almost done here. Like, I guess this is the last ditch.
Yeah.
We got to see him start and end.
He got.
Damn.
Yeah, we get to see him start and end.
There was also another fun cameo.
Tell me.
The priest that was on the swing at the beginning is Robert Duvall.
Oh. Oh, he's very famous.
He is. I think he wins Academy Awards, and he was in Apocalypse Now. And he's a director. Ew, did he direct that?
Yeah.
He's in The Pale Blue Eye, which we might do eventually.
Hell yeah.
He's still going.
Good for him.
I've seen him in a lot of stuff. Okay, but he didn't want to get paid for it. He wanted to be in it, and he wanted to be in one scene, and he didn't want to get paid for it, and he got paid because the director bought him an Eddie Bauer jacket, and I was like, that's fair. Oh. Eddie Bauer jackets are great. Who doesn't love Eddie Bauer? I bet he still has it. Those stand the test of time.
You're right. Yeah.
All my Eddie Bauer clothes have lasted so much longer than they should have.
I don't think I ever had Eddie Bauer clothes, but did they do backpacks? I feel like I had
they
an
probably
Eddie Bauer
did.
backpack. Yeah. 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 I bet that's still going strong somewhere. Just not with me.
Yeah, I liked that one a lot. I can't remember if there are any more, but I was like, these are great. The other one was Spock's hand thing. I mean, Leonard Nimoy's hand thing. I mean, Dr. something's hand thing.
Yeah, Kibner.
Yeah.
Kibner.
And I think that might be all my fun facts. I did read some more, but they weren't as interesting. Donald Sutherland did get hit by a car.
I know. Yeah. And the person who hit him, he says that he saw them mouthing, "Oh God, not you," as he fell off their windshield. He also called it a wind screen. I was like, nobody calls it that. Where's he from?
Should we bring that back?
The past, I guess.
Yes, my windscreen's always so messy.
This is also, in the behind the scenes for both this and The Thing, everybody calls it a show, not a movie.
Oh.
I got hired on that show. I knew that was like an old Hollywood term, but I thought that it ended like in the 50s. No, I guess it
kept going forever?
Kept going.
Should we watch some behind the scenes stuff in recent movies to see if they're doing that still?
Do they even make behind the scenes stuff?
I don't think so, which is really
anymore?
Upsetting because I really love behind the scenes stuff.
Show it to me. I want to see it all. I want to learn all the things.
Yeah.
But this was one where everybody seemed like they had a really great time. Everybody had so much fun, and they were describing the filming of this as like lighthearted, and I love that.
Yeah, and I think you can, like we've said before, whenever you see a movie that you can tell the cast like has chemistry and they like each other, you can really tell, and it really comes through, and I feel like it did really come through in this movie. And, I didn't know that they liked each other or that it went well, but I just had that vibe.
Right. I think that it gets established early on when Elizabeth goes over to Donald Sutherland's house and he's cooking and he asks her to do that thing with her eyes.
Yeah.
And like, what a like dumb human thing, right? Like, you've got these like stupid inside jokes with your friends, and also on top of that, he's like clearly wildly in love with her. And the way he like looks at her in that moment, I was like, get you somebody who looks at you like Donald Sutherland looks at Elizabeth.
Yeah.
like, wow, such a like quiet, like intimate moment between pals. And I think that that's like hard to manufacture even if you are professional actors. So cute moment. Love that they love each other.
I was gonna say, I thought that they were gonna come back with that moment too, where he was gonna like realize that she wasn't her because she wasn't be able to do it. But if they have the same memories, I guess she would have been able to do it.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. That's also something different because in the faculty and the thing, they had a way to tell that wasn't just
the
vibes. Emotion thing. Like, you needed to, like, have something. There was no test.
You just got to get them to scream. I guess you got to show them that dog and see how they feel.
You're like, oh, they look... If anybody, like, raises their eyebrow for a second when they see it, you're like, oh, I found you. I found me.
Okay.
So there's You're another
one. So this movie and the 50s movie both end pretty nihilistically in the same vein as The Thing.
Gotcha.
The book is more optimistic, similar to The Faculty, except that is not at all how I read it.
Oh.
I read the book, thought that everybody got. So do you mind if I permission to spoil in the book?
That's fine. I'm not going to read the book.
So at some point, the pod people in the book get like fed up with how hard it is to work with this like group of 4 people. And so they just leave. And I read that as, oh, they got. And so when you become pod people and you have these memories, like maybe you as a person you still exist and you're like being suppressed by the pod person.
That. Yeah. Like, is there another movie where one of the aliens turns and is like, maybe we're the bad guys. And then there's like a ragtag group of possessed people by aliens that are like, we're the bad guys. And then they try to go to humans and protect the humans. And they're like,
you know what I think
you're going to get
might
potted.
Be remembering?
Is there another movie? Is there a movie?
Well, I think what you might be remembering is Toad and Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, God, yeah. We ain't got no... Sorry, I'm trying to think of the song that he sings with his harmonica.
So, yeah, at the end of the book, because it ends so anticlimactically, the book does. And at the end, the Donald Sutherland character, his name is Miles in the book, is... he's thinking to himself, like, I can't even really be sure that any of this happened. And so I was like, he's been got and he's being like placated in somebody's, like in a corner of somebody's brain. And so I came out of the book so sad and even more nihilistic than the movie. And then when I was watching the behind the scenes, the director described the book as having like a joyous ending. And I was like,
what?
Hold on. Wait a minute. And so I had to go back and like read a summary to make sure that the way that I remembered it is what happened. And it is. I just like took it
in a different way.
Was very dire about it and like went too far. I was supposed to just take it at face value. But there's a TV show that I really loved that you should watch.
Was it called Invasion?
No.
Oh, okay.
But that's based on this too, right?
I think so.
No, I don't want to tell you this TV show because I want to tell you how it ends. So I'll have to suggest it sometime in the future. Yeah. So it ends with the way that I thought that this book ended.
Okay.
Like the group of, your protagonists have been fighting against somebody who wants to like keep them essentially locked in a house forever. And he almost succeeds, but the way that he does that is he splits them up. And so they fight against it until they're reunited. And then he tries again, but they like revealed to him, unfortunately, like your plan would have worked except we were apart. That was your mistake. If you had kept us together, we might not have even noticed. And so he tries again, keeps them together. They don't notice. Show gets canceled. So that's how it ends.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. And so that's how I read this book. Oh, sad.
No.
But it's not sad. Not the book.
Well, like thinking about it being like possibly still being a pod person and having your thoughts. Because that's what I was in the thing.
Isn't that scary?
Because there were people that I was like, did you know that your blood was going to go crazy whenever you got Like, do you know that you're a pod person after you've become a pod
Are
person?
you in there?
Because you don't have memories of anything because you were just birthed. So you don't have memories of being a pod person or a pod.
Right.
Do you? I don't know. This is going to get too... my brain can't, not tonight.
Yeah.
I'm going to think about it. Not too much. Maybe if I have a thinking night.
No, I don't know. Because the way that we see them come to Earth, they were just like gel on another planet. So how long did it take them to get to Earth? Did they like evolve consciousness in space, floating through space?
They said they move from planet to planet via the solar wind.
Something like that.
So do they birth into whatever is on that planet?
I guess so. Because but they start off as those pods and flower. And those aren't from Earth, right? Because Lil Miss Plant Obsessed was like I think I've discovered something new.
Yep.
Okay, none of this is adding up.
No.
Yeah, sorry to everybody who thinks this film is a classic. This was really good, though.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, and apparently the gel at the start of the movie, that they just found that at like a craft store.
Oh, nice.
For like $10. Yeah. So they put it in water. They did a lot of filming in reverse for effects in this one, which is clever. Like at the beginning when we see the pods like developing on the leaves of a plant, like the gel lands and then like these little tendrils like zoom out of the gel. That was all filmed in reverse. It was just like just little like wires coming out of it and they pulled it back in.
Oh.
So I guess it wasn't filmed in reverse. It was filmed normal style. And then in the movie, it was played in reverse.
There you go. That makes sense. Filmed forward, but around when we watched.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I'm there.
Yeah. Same with the birthing scene, if I remember correctly.
So they birthed in reverse?
So they would have staged it with the bodies outside of the pods and then pulled the bodies back into the pods.
Oh, that's weird. That's weird. I don't know if that's more of a... I guess that's... Nope. I don't know how I feel about that. I might have to go back and watch it and then decide differently.
You can tell that that's what they... Like, in that first scene on the plants, I was like, backwards. I didn't do enough research on this, so this is just going to be like a half-formed fun fact. It sounds like Dolby was developing surround sound at this time.
Oh, interesting.
Which is part of why they were so creative with the audio engineering or the sound design. And they called out specifically when the director of the first movie is driving them in the cab and the motorcycles zoom around them off to one side. That was just to like show off the sound.
Oh.
So the like motorcycles, they just panned that audio.
That's funny.
Theater. Isn't that fun? Do we have any more thoughts on this one?
None. Yeah. I think I went through all of my thoughts.
I'm gonna watch it again.
I probably am too. I'm probably gonna watch it. This is one that I might watch again within the year. This is one that I watched and I was like, I want to watch this with more people. I want more people to watch it. So.
Oh, I do have one more question for you. Could Donald Sutherland get it? I'll go first. Yes.
I want to say yes, but I would want to say yes, but he reminded me of somebody that I've met before. So I had a hard time disassociating them.
Sure. Yeah. I'm in my mustache era. So.
Oh, well, that
worked for me. That worked well for me.
That's fair. He does have a very lovely mustache.
It's a 70s mustache. Yeah.
And he was very caring, very smart.
I know.
Charismatic. Kind of dumb. Did call the police a lot. In a movie where people were taking over people's bodies, the police are the first ones that are going to be getting got.
Yeah, obviously. That's like infrastructure. You have to go infrastructure
first. He was
first.
Tired, I guess.
He was also kind of mean to the chef. But there was rat poop in the soup.
There was rat poop.
That he was knowingly serving people. Okay. Those are my final thoughts on the movie. Next week, we will be doing Ghosts of Mars from 2001. And our gal Stokely from the faculty will be back. What's her name?
Clea Duvall.
Clea Duvall. Thank you.
We've also got Ice Cube.
We've got Ice Cube.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I haven't seen that one either. Here is the summary from IMDb. In 2176, a Martian police unit is sent to pick up a highly dangerous criminal. I'm just betting that that's Ice Cube. Like 2001, you know what I mean?
Well, he was in the movie Anaconda around that time too, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
He was not a criminal in that movie. Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just saying that, like, I'm expecting this movie to be racist.
That's fair. I think that's fair. Yeah. But sometimes horror can be progressive. Sometimes. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what this is wait.
Yeah, it is John Carpenter.
Okay, good. This is John Carpenter, so maybe it'll be okay. Maybe it'll be fine. We have overlaps in everything in this series. Like, this is the most overlapping really series we've ever done, I think.
Yeah, everything referenced each other. Well, I guess in order of history. You know what I mean. Okay, let me get through this summary. Martian police unit is sent to pick up a highly dangerous criminal at a remote mining post. Upon arrival, the cops find that the post has become a charnel house. Do you remember when we learned that word a few weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, and that is going to conclude our series on ghost possession.
Alien possession. Our next one will be ghost possession. No, I'm just kidding. It's not going to be. Maybe, no. We don't decide that yet. You guys won't know. It'll be a surprise.
Yeah, we'll find out later.
Yay!
Boy, I am on Struggle Street trying to get through this outro. Okay, if you have enjoyed the show, please remember to rate and review it wherever you get your podcasts, and tell your friends. Word of mouth rules. And you can find us online at No Show Monster. Twitter is where I hang out the most. That's where I am. You can email us, noshowmonster@gmail.com, and we will see you next week. Happy spookies.
Happy spooky.